Hey there, welcome back. We are continuing our journey about peace and power, discipling the whole person for the whole world. And just a little bit review of last time, but you can check out the introduction last time. That will also be on this blog site or in this YouTube video playlist. Last time we talked about how we disciple the whole person, looking at how the person is divided in the will, the thoughts, the feelings, the body, the social context. And each week we are going to unpack one of these pieces to see how discipleship impacts that part of the person. This week we're going to be talking about the will. How does the will come into contact with discipleship, with the transformation process into being like Christ? Then also last week we talked about how discipleship is both an inward journey and an outward journey. How does the person on the inside turn to be more like Christ, and then as we change into something more like Christ, how do we engage the world around us as persons who are now more like Christ? And kind of the key phrases is this: the peace of Jesus Christ to change yourself, and the power of the Holy Spirit to change the world around you. As we look this week, as we look at the will, as we look at this idea of how we engage the will in the discipleship process, is going to be focused on choosing. Discipleship is, and foremost, at the very beginning, a choice. We choose to follow Jesus. Now, on one level, that choice is an initial choice into salvation, that I choose to bow to Jesus as Lord. I choose to declare him as Lord of my life. I choose to believe that he is raised from the dead. But even after that, it is a bunch of subsequent little choices. I choose to follow Jesus today. I choose to engage Christ each and every day as I move forward into the transformation and process of being more and more like Christ. As we look at this paragraph coming from Deuteronomy, we'll see this interesting thing where is it a choice by the people or is it a choice of God to choose the people? And we'll see both of those working intimately towards each other. Deuteronomy 30:11 through 20. This command that I give you today is certainly not too difficult or beyond your reach. It is not in heaven so that you have to ask, who will go up to heaven and get it for us and proclaim it to us so that we may follow it. It is not across the sea so that you have to ask, who will cross the sea, get it for us and proclaim it to us so that we may follow it. But the message is very near you, in your mouth and in your heart, so that you may follow it. See, today I have set before you life and prosperity, death and adversity. For I am commanding you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commands, statutes, and ordinances, so that you may live and multiply, and the Lord your God may bless you in the land you are entering to possess. But if your heart turns away and you do not listen, and you are led astray to bow down to other gods and worship them, I tell you today that you will certainly perish and will not live long in the land you are entering to possess across the Jordan. I call heaven and earth as witnesses against you today, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life so that you and your descendants may live long. Love the Lord your God, obey him, and remain faithful to him. For he is your life, and he will prolong your life in the land the Lord swore to give your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In this passage, we see that the proclamation of God is already near to the people of Israel. It is already in their mouths and in their hearts. They have it. And God has already sworn to give this good land to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and their descendants. So there is already a choosing piece by God of the Israelites. But also there is this call, this thick, thick call to the Israelites to obey God, to love him, to be faithful to him, to choose life. Their will is empowered by God so that they can make a decision to choose life. They have the command so that they can choose life. We see this phrased in Philippians in New Testament verbiage, but it's basically a lot of the same ideas. So then, my dear friends, just as you always obey, not only in my presence, but now even more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who is working in you, enabling you both to desire and to work out his good purposes. Again, we see that we are called to work out God's purposes in our lives for our salvation. But we also, that is based on the fact that God is working in us. So it's our will empowered by God to choose life. My goal is to know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being conformed to his death, assuming that I will somehow reach the resurrection from among the dead. Not that I have already reached the goal or am already fully mature, but I make every effort to take hold of it because I have been taken hold of by Jesus Christ. We make every effort to take hold of this transformational image of Jesus Christ already at work that has taken hold of us. It's a both and. We choose to follow God as he has empowered us to choose him. God, the Trinity, through the person of the Holy Spirit, engages us at the point of our will to empower us to make godly decisions, godly choices. Discipleship always starts with God-empowered decisions. Each subsequent transformational movement, whether big or small, begins with a choice to turn to God.